Hello, good morning. It's currently 4:29. We are on time or in time. And good morning, Arnav, MS, and Krishna. You all are always so like punctual. Wow. Even always at 11, 4:28, 4:29. You all are always there. Sorry, yesterday I extended. So I mean, everyone, all of us would have slept less also. But ठीक है चलता है एक दो दिन चलता है. I mean, you're sleeping more than most people anyway. Because the fact that we are sleeping 6.5, 7 hours is still great, even in this stage. Bro is hello, good morning Adit. Bro is early today. इतना भी लेट नहीं रहता यार, एक मिनट एक दो मिनट यूजुअली मैक्स. I try to be on time only. Good morning Adit. Today I have to finish something called long-term regulation of BP. Mm, and then after that short-term regulation of BP. So first I'll do long-term regulation, and then I will do short-term regulation, which I was doing yesterday. I'll continue that. Why you clean shave? I didn't shave after yesterday, but I don't know. I like clean shave. Good morning, Shambhavi. Hey, Shambhavi, first time you joined, right? And today, okay, chal, Sham ka also in the break we'll decide. Okay, it's 4:30 now. We'll have a break at 6. You can't be earlier than me. I sleep. Arre baap re. So break is at it's 4:30 now. So break will be at 6 a.m. Sorry, let's go. We'll discuss then. Okay, so then 6 a.m. Everyone put your targets, please. We'll all make sure we finish. So please put your targets. What you want to achieve till 6 a.m. I will tell you what I want to achieve. I want to do long-term regulation. And then after that, I want to do short-term regulation. This both chapters I want to finish before I go to college. Today I have college at 8:45. I'll see what time to stop. So long-term regulation and short-term regulation. Let's go. Everyone, please put your goals so we can keep each other accountable. And I will pin this message. We will meet at 6 for like 10 minutes. Sure. So at 6 we'll meet for 10 minutes. We can discuss. It'll be fun. Now let's 1.5 hours. Let's do properly. So I'll just come back in like 2-3 minutes. I'll get water and everything. I have less water. Hello. I'm so nice, happy to hear. First time waking up for today. Hi Vedula. Hi Harshu. Nice to hear that. And Sarthak, what's your screen time? I don't really use my. I'm like on stream half, like 80% of the day I'm at home. So like you can see in that I don't do time pass. So like mustn't be that much. Like screen में से तो आएगा बहुत आएगा ना because I'm using screens वैसे, but not really screen time. Very less. About 10 people, I think, first time in the morning. Proud of everyone. I'm so happy we all wake up at 4:30. Please keep water and food ready. Now I'm also going and keeping some water and I will get some more fruits. I always prefer fruits like orange and banana is the best in the morning. Easiest to peel and easiest to like eat. Chalo, let's start. Okay, let's go. Right. Hello, Ayushi. Oh my God, final MBFA student. Wow. I'm still in first year. So glad that you joined. Is there high temperature there? Like I need 25. It's okay. I know it can be stressful. We'll talk at 6 and I'll make sure you feel better. So, right now, just focus on studies. Karma. That will always, hard work will never, disappoint. Just study for 1.5 hours and we'll meet at 6 o'clock. Long term regulation. Long term regulation of arterial blood pressure. Pressure iris is the increase in the renal output of water following an increase in arterial blood pressure. So that's called pressure irisis, the increase in renal output. After following an increase in arterial blood pressure. Now, pressure natriuresis increase in renal output of sodium following an increase in arterial blood pressure. In addition to rapidly acting mechanisms of blood pressure discussed in 43, the body has powerful mechanisms for regulating arterial blood pressure week after week and month after month. The long-term regulation of arterial pressure is closely intertwined with homeostasis of body fluid volume for long-term survival. Fluid intake and output must be precisely balanced. In this chapter, we discuss the renal body fluid mechanisms that play a major role in long-term blood pressure regulation. The renal body fluid system for arterial pressure control acts slowly but powerfully as follows. If blood volume increases and vascular capacitance is not altered, then arterial pressure will also increase. We know that C is delta P upon delta V upon delta P. So अगर C नहीं change हो रहा and delta V बढ़ रहा है then delta P will increase. So arterial pressure will also increase अगर stroke volume बढ़ा और capacitance change नहीं हुआ. The rising pressure in turn causes the kidneys to excrete the excess volume, thus returning the pressure back to normal. Increase, so that's called pressure natriuresis, right? More renal output also hoga, and that will cause it to go back, like kind of a negative feedback. The rising pressure in turn causes the kidney to excrete no over. Indeed, an increase in arterial pressure in the human body of only a few millimeters of mercury can double the renal output of water, which is called pressure diuresis. So, increase in arterial pressure in the human of only a few millimeters of mercury can double the renal output. So if you're increasing arterial pressure, only few millimeters, that can literally double the renal output. Itna high is the pressure natriuresis, as well as double the output of salt, which is called pressure natriuresis. Quantification of pressure diuresis as the basis of arterial blood pressure control. So main for blood pressure control is diuresis of pressure. Pressure diuresis is everything, and natriuresis. 41 shows the approximate value of different 44.1 shows the approximate value of different arterial pressure levels on urinary volume output and acidity demonstrating markedly increased volume output as the pressure rises. The increased urinary output is the phenomenon of pressure diuresis. The curve in the figure is called urinary output curve or a renal function curve. It's called renal function curve or urinary output curve. And in human beings, the arterial pressure of 50 mmHg, the output is essentially zero. So 50K pressure में no output, and at 100 mmHg, which is normal, we have at 200 mm which is normal, and 200 mg it is about 6 to 8 times the normal. Furthermore, 6 to 8 times, so just a double in the pressure will was the this to become 6 to 8 times the output. Furthermore, not only does increasing the arterial pressure increase the urine volume output, but also cause an approximately equal increase in sodium output, which is the phenomenon of pressure natriuresis. Okay, so jitna water जा रहा है उतना भी sodium जा रहा है. So I don't think the concentration it will maintain the concentration of urine also. Now the renal body fluid mechanisms provides nearly infinite feedback gain for long-term arterial pressure control. 44.0 shows the renal output curve water and salt in response to rising arterial pressure, and which is the same renal output curve as 44.1. And 2 is the line that represents net water and salt intake. So net water and salt intake कितना है उसे compare कर रहा है. ठीक है. Okay, keep going. Over a long period, water and salt output must equal the intake. Furthermore, the only place in the graph in 44/2 at which output equals intake is where the two curves intersect, which is called the equilibrium point. Now, let's see what happens if the arterial pressure increases above or decreases below the equilibrium point. First, assume the arterial pressure rises to 150 mg. At this level, the renal output of water and salt is about 3 times as great as the intake. So 150 mmHg, your output is 3 times. Therefore, body loses fluid. Correct. The blood volume decreases and arterial pressure decreases. Furthermore, this negative balance of fluid will not cease until the pressure falls all the way back exactly to equilibrium level. Indeed, even when the arterial pressure is only a few millimeters of mercury greater than the equilibrium, there is still a slightly more loss of water and salt than intake, so pressure continues to fall that the last millimeters of mercury until the pressure eventually returns to equilibrium point. If the arterial pressure falls below the equilibrium point, intake of salt water and salt is greater than output. Therefore, body fluid volume increases, body volume increases, and the arterial pressure rises until once again it returns exactly to the equilibrium point. This return of arterial pressure always back to the equilibrium is the near infinite feedback principle for control of arterial pressure by renal body fluid mechanism. It is called nearly infinite feedback gain. Nearly infinite feedback gain. Nearly infinite feedback gain. ठीक है, okay. Nearly infinite feedback gain. Chill, let's go fast. Uh, Two key determinants of long term. So this is long term pressure. So one was long term pressure by the kidneys, which is called pressure natriuresis and pressure diuresis. Okay, I'll turn the page and I'll make sure I finish fast. Two key determinants of long term arterial pressure. One can also see that two basic uh, two basic long-term factors that determine the long-term arterial pressure level. As long as the two curves representing renal output of salt and water and the intake of salt and water remain exactly as they are shown in 44.2, the mean arterial pressure level will eventually read just 100 mmHg, which is the pressure level depicted by the equilibrium point of the figure. Furthermore, there are only two ways in which the pressure of the equilibrium point can be changed from 100 mm. Sorry, let's go. We're on the next page. I will aim within 10 minutes. And two ways in which the equilibrium of pressure of this equilibrium point can be changed from 100 mmHg level. One way is shifting the pressure level of the renal output curve for salt and water, and that's by changing the level and salt water intake. Therefore, express simply the two primary determinants of long-term arterial pressure as follows. The two primary determinants of long-term pressure. One will to obviously be how much we consume, the level of intake of salt and water, and secondly the degree of pressure shift of renal output curve. The degree of the shift of the output curve, how much are we shifting the pressure output curve. Okay, 44.3a, some abnormality of kidney has caused the renal output curve to shift 50 mmHg in the high pressure direction towards the right. Note that the equilibrium is also shifted to 50 mmHg higher than normal. Therefore, one can say that if the renal output curve shifts into pressure level, the artery will follow this new pressure level within a few days. Okay, so the arterial pressure level will always follow 44.3b shows how change in the level of salt and water can make a change in the arterial pressure. In this case, the intake level has increased fourfold and the equilibrium point has shifted to a pressure level 160, 60 mm above the new level. Conversely, a decrease in the intake level would also reduce the, if you have a which diagram, figure 44.3b, that shows ki you're increasing the fluid and water intake. That will cause an increase in the decrease would reduce the arterial pressure. Thus, it is impossible to change the long-term mean arterial pressure level to a new value without changing one or both of these two basic determinants. One is the level of salt and water intake and the degree of the shift of the renal function curve. Renal function curve, also called as the renal urinary output curve. So, renal function curve or renal urinary output curve is basically you're shifting that or you're changing the level of water and salt intake. However, if either of these is changed, one finds the arterial pressure thereafter to be regulated to a new pressure level. The arterial pressure at which the two new curves intersect. In most people, how the renal function curve is much steeper, as shown in figure 44.3, and changes in salt intake have only a modest effect. Most people, changes in salt intake only have a modest effect. ठीक now, figure 44.2 analysis of arterial pressure regulation by equating the renal output curve with the salt and water intake curve. The typical renal output curve measured in a perfused isolated kidney showing pressure diuresis when arterial pressure is rise above normal. So urinary output volume, that is normal, and arterial pressure. So as and when the arterial pressure rises, that it becomes say 100, then the renal urinary output is around either like 1.5, yeah, 1.5 liters a day, correct. बट अगर आर्टियल प्रेशर थोड़ा भी बढ़ गया तो आउटपुट इंक्रीजेस सडनली, और अगर 60 के नीचे होगा, बिलो 60 देयर इज जीरो आउटपुट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिलो 60 जीरो आउटपुट. So below 60 mmHg you have zero output, and 100 mmHg is what you usually take as a normal. Now this is analysis of arterial pressure by equating the sort of lost through what ignore this. Shifting the renal output goes in the right direction towards a higher pressure level, increasing the level of salt and water intake. तो intake ही बढ़ाया तो of course the intersection point will decrease. So the arterial pressure is basically the intersection point of both the graphs. It's the intersection point. Fine. Let's go. Of the renal output curve or the uh, renal output curve or the which curve? Pressure curve, renal output, renal urinary output curve or renal function curve. RFC. What? Historical valuing, renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Renin-angiotensin system. Renin-angiotensin system. There is RAS mechanism. Ran in the early half of the 19th century. ठीक है, ये पढ़ना है क्या, टाइम पास है ये? No, I'm not reading. Historical limit. Okay, nice. We finished in 5 minutes. Let's go. That was fast. Let's go. I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. The renin-angiotensin system is role in the arterial pressure control. Aside from the capabilities of the kidney to control arterial pressure through the changes in the, so the kidney is controlling through changes in the extracellular fluid volume. The kidneys have another powerful mechanism for controlling pressure, the renin-angiotensin system. Renin is a protein enzyme, and yes, renin is a single N always, and the renin in the stomach in infants is RENIN. So kidneys में एक ही है, किडनीज में एक ही है और उधर दो है. Renin, correct, is a protein enzyme released by the kidneys when the arterial pressure falls too low. It raises the arterial pressure and surveys and compensates and shows the functional Small muscles have J.G. cells, small muscle cells, and artery pressure for the release renin by at least three mechanisms. So when the arterial pressure is falling, the releasing renin by three mechanisms. Pressure-sensitive bioreceptors in the J.G. cells respond decreased arterial pressure with decreased sodium chloride delivery to macula densa cells in the early distributable stimulus renin release. Sodium release to the macula densa will cause early distributable to release sodium, and increased sympathetic nervous system activity stimulates the renin release by activating beta adrenergic receptors in the J.G. cell. Damn. Sympathetic is activating beta adrenergic receptors that will cause release of renin. Sympathetic stimulation also activates alpha adrenergic receptors, which can increase renal sodium chloride reabsorption and reduce the glomerular filtration rate in cases of strong sympathetic activation. Increased renal sympathetic activity also enhances the sensitivity of renal baroreceptor and macula densa. Enhances the sensitivity of the baroreceptor and the macula densa for renin release. So you have beta and alpha adrenergic receptors. Beta adrenergic receptors are being acted upon, are causing renin to be secreted, and alpha adrenergic receptors are causing more sodium and water to be released, but only during strong sympathetic contraction. Only during strong sympathetic contraction. And increased renal sympathetic activity also increases the sensitivity of renal baroreceptors and macula densa for release. Okay. Most of the renin enters the renal blood flow and then passes out of the kidneys. Substrate Renin-angiotensin. Is converting enzyme the endothelium of plant cells. Is converting enzyme in the endothelium of plant cells. That's called ACE converting enzyme in the endothelium of plant cells. Angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin is a powerful vasoconstrictor by the circulatory function. It was modified only 1 to 2 minutes before rapidly inactivated by multiple bond blood and tissue enzymes collectively called angiotensinases. Oh. Inactivated by angiotensinases, which are multiple blood and tissue enzymes. Angiotensin 2 has two conspicuous effects that elevate arterial pressure. First one, raise the constriction of the body pressure rapidly, because intensity in the arterioles and much less in the veins. In constriction will be more in arterioles because they have more elastic recoil. Veins are not able to recoil; they are more of distensibility. So veins cannot recoil. The constriction of arterioles causes increase the total peripheral resistance, therefore increasing the arterial pressure. Constriction of arterioles increases the total peripheral resistance. Fine. Thereby raising the arterial pressure as demonstrated in the bottom of the schema. Also, the mild contraction of veins promotes increased venous return. I should definitely eat. I should eat. I should. Always, I am an advocate of eating very healthy. I eat a lot of fruits. Excessive of fluid volume is more powerful. Yes, what happened? Renin-angiotensin. Excess amounts of angiotensin 2 will circulate अगर ज़्यादा बढ़ा तो entire long term renal body fluid mechanism for arterial pressure automatically. We finished in 10 minutes, which is pretty okay. It was a very info packed page, so it's going very good. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Focus. Oh, it's constricting venous arterioles. Okay. Multiple effects of increased salt intake, including small increases in arterial pressure and pressure-independent effects. Reduce the rate of renin secretion and angiotensin II formation, which then helps to eliminate the additional salt, which with minimal increase in ECF volume or arterial pressure. Thus, the renin is an automatic feedback mechanism. The salt intake is increased. And salt intake is decreased exactly opposite to emphasize the efficacy in controlling pressure rise more than 4 to 6 in response to as much as 100. What? 100-fold increase in salt intake, the pressure won't rise more than 4 to 6 and that's amazing. 100 times if you increase your salt, still pressure won't rise more than 4 to 6. The sequential events by which increased salt intake increases the arterial pressure, but feedback decrease in activity of an angiotensin system returns the arterial pressure almost to the normal level. Feedback decrease in activity of renin angiotensin system. Increased salt intake causes increased EC volume. More salt, more volume, more pressure. 5 finish this page in 9 minutes 45 seconds. Also a very happy page, but I feel my efficiency was only 90%. So we gotta bring it back. Let's go. Hypovolemia. by causing the kidney to retain salt and water over a period of days, even moderate amounts of angiotensin can cause hypertension, renal actions. Hmm. Hypertension through renal action, the principal effect of long-term regulation. One kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. One kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. When one kidney is removed and the renal artery of the remaining kidney is constricted, a renal artery of the remaining kidney is constricted. Uh, the immediate effect is greatly reduced pressure in the renal artery beyond the constrictor. So you have only one kidney, and the renal artery of that kidney is constricted, then you will have greatly reduced pressure in the renal artery, greatly reduced pressure beyond the constrictor, beyond the constrictor. Okay. Then within seconds of minutes, the systemic artery pressure begins to rise and continues to rise for several days. It usually rises rapidly for the first hour or so, and this effect is followed by slow additional rising in the next few days. The systemic artery pressure reaches new stable pressure level. The renal arterial pressure distal to the constriction. That is the dashed line in the figure. Which figure? The renal arterial pressure reaches its new stable level, the renal arterial pressure distal to the constriction will have returned all the way back to normal. The hypertension produced in this way is called one kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. One kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. It's called one kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. One kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. Mm. So when the artificial artery pressure begins to rise and continues to rise, I didn't understand this one. The pressure usually rises for the first hour or so. Fine. मतलब अभी क्या हो रहा है रीनल आर्टरी कंस्ट्रिक्ट हो रहा है बियॉन्ड द कंस्ट्रिक्टर द सिस्टम में आर्टरी प्रेशर begins to rise and then continues to rise ठीक है कंस्ट्रिक्ट हुआ तो राइज हो रहा है फाइन देन व्हाट when the systemic arterial pressure reaches a new stable pressure level the renal arterial pressure distal to the constriction okay will have returned almost all the way back to normal. Attached. कौन सा फिगर भाई ठीक है इट्स ओके बेसिकली एक किडनी होगा तो हाइपरटेंशन हो रहा है बिकॉज हाँ कंस्ट्रिक्ट हो रहा है बिकॉज द रीनल आर्टरी इज कंस्ट्रिक्टिंग फाइन एक किडनी बचा उसका रीनल आर्टरी कंस्ट्रिक्ट हुआ हाँ ग्रेट रीनल आर्टरी प्रेशर घटा करेक्ट then that will probably cause RAS to be released, to be activated. So it will keep rising. When the system reaches a new stable level, the renal artery pressure distal to the constriction. Oh, okay, I got it. तो पहले रीनल आर्टरी कंस्ट्रिक्ट हो रहा है तो बिकॉज कंस्ट्रिक्ट हो रहा है तो प्रेशर घट रहा है डिस्टल टू दैट कंस्ट्रिक्टर Oh, okay. And it rises near the distal to the constriction, that is the dashed curve, will have returned almost all the way back to normal. Oh, okay. हाँ मतलब hypertension as in if it is causing it to go from low pressure to normal pressure, that is hypertension. मतलब it's increasing the tension, so hypertension. But actually वो hypertension में नहीं जा रहा. That is called Goldblatt's one kidney Goldblatt's hypertension. The early rise in the arterial pressure in Goldblatt's hypertension is caused by the Renin-angiotensin vasoconstrictor mechanism. That is because of poor blood flow through the kidney after acute constriction of the renal artery. Large quantities of renin are secreted by the kidney action increases the angiotensin 2 and aldosterone in the blood. The angiotensin 2 in turn raises the arterial pressure acutely. The secretion of renin rises to a peak in an hour or so, but nearly returns to nearly normal in 5 7 days because the renal arterial pressure by that time has also taken back to normal, so the kidney is no longer ischemic. Renal artery pressure by that time is also taken back to normal. So, second, as an arterial pressure is caused by retention of salt and water by the constricted kidney. That is also stimulated by angiotensin 2 and aldosterone. Retention of salt and water. In 5 days, the body fluid volume increases enough to raise the arterial pressure to its new sustained level. The quantitative value of this sustained pressure is determined by the degree of constriction of renal artery. That is, the aortic pressure must rise enough so that the renal arterial pressure distal to the constrictor is high enough to cause normal urine output. Aortic pressure must rise enough so that renal arterial pressure distal to constrictor. So aortic pressure has to rise till what level? Aortic. So renal arterial and distal. Oh, hmm, correct. Oh God. Now, a similar scenario occurs patient stenosis of renal artery of a single remaining kidney sometimes occurs after a person receives a kidney transplant. Stenosis हुआ. Now, all also functional or pathological increase in resistance of renal arterial atherosclerosis or excessive level of vasoconstrictors causes hypotension through the same mechanism as constriction of main renal artery. Two kidney gallbladders hypertension. When the artery to only one kidney is constricted. When the artery to the other is normal, the constricted kidney secretes renin and retains salt and water because of decreased renal arterial pressure to the kidney. Then the normal opposite kidney retains salt and water because of the renin produced by the ischemic kidney. Primary hypertension is called essential hypertension. Primary hypertension is also called essential hypertension by many clinicians. Hypertension of unknown origin. Oh, I think this is called primary hypertension in contrast to the forms of hypertension that are secondary to known causes such as renal artery stenosis or monogenic forms of hypertension. In most patients, excess weight gain and sedentary lifestyle appear to be major reasons. Excess weight gain and sedentary lifestyle cause hypertension. Majority of patients with hypertension are overweight, and studies of different populations suggest that excess weight gain and obesity may account for 65 to 75% of the risk of developing primary hypertension. Among others, are caused by excess weight gain and obesity. Cardiac output is increased. So when cardiac output बढ़ा, sympathetic nerve activity in the kidneys is increased in overweight patients. ओके, किडनी में सिंपैथेटिक एक्टिविटी बढ़ा मतलब रेनिन बढ़ेगा, मतलब प्रेशर भी ऑल्सो बढ़ेगा. ओह, सो ओबेसिटी में सिंपैथेटिक एक्टिविटी ऑफ द किडनीज ओनली इंक्रीजेस एंड कार्डियक आउटपुट बढ़ रहा है. Angiotensin increased twofold to threefold. The renal pressure and diuresis mechanism is impaired. Okay, so I took 12 minutes 45 seconds for this. A bit high, but it was conceptual and I didn't understand initially, so it's fine. As long as I'm learning it, that's okay. Time and all is fine. Wow, I finished the chapter. That's great. Okay, chapter done. Now I will do one thing. Remove portrait, no need. Yeah, this might be. Yeah, studio light also is not required. This is much better. These lights are behind the way also. Fine. Now we have to do probably short term. कितना बचा है short term? Let's see. Oh, that was good. Very happy. So one, two, three, four, 5 pages. 5 pages, say around 10 minutes per page. 1 hour I should finish. So in 1 hour I have to finish. But I definitely should do anatomy also. It's 6:30. I have time till 8 today. I have to finish yesterday's backlog. I can't not finish yesterday's backlog. Let's go. Anat, head on. Six. Fast, fast, fast. End of the- Okay, I done good and I'm done. Oh yeah, we're not on kidney, we're on extra hepatic biliary apparatus. And also, you're on liver. Abdo, liver. Let's continue. So it's almost 6 o'clock. We decided to take break at 6. Today was really, really productive the morning. I did liver also. Thoda baki tha liver I finished. I finished long-term BP regulation. And I have to just do short-term BP regulation. Then I'll be done for the morning targets. So it's going pretty well. Hope you all also, it's also going well. Um, you just see the chat. Today the reactions are working. I'm very glad. Let's celebrate for a productive morning. Let's go. Wait, can I activate it by my hands also? Like now the effect ka like option is only coming. Can I activate it directly? Probably yes. Oh, nice. So both the effect and the like I can directly manually control it also. Do laser for our laser sharp focus. Done. Laser done. Or chalo heart speed डालते हैं. I don't know the effect, but I can directly put it. So, what else? We will celebrate. Bro, why you clean shave? I don't know, I like clean shave. You can't be earlier than me. I sleep at 5 a.m. भाई मत normalize करो यार इतना late सोना please. Good morning. First time with you. Woke up at 4:30 for the first time after December. Feeling so good. That's so great to hear, Harshwan. So proud that you're able. Even I almost for the first time only I woke up like 20 days ago when I started. Good morning, ABC. Vidula, first time waking up. Great. Chemistry, organic PYQs. Hope you finished MS Physics revision. Good, good. So no time pass. I mean, I do time pass, ऐसे नहीं, but you go by priority, no? Looking at the situation. You watch news, no, no, usually not. News is very negative. I don't like anything which brings negativity or like I say toxicity. Why? Unnecessarily. I watch YouTube sometimes, but not that much. Like I'll rather spend time with my friends, family more than I go and talk to my parents every day at least half an hour. Nowadays less because I sleep early, but I can definitely or whenever I get time when I come from college, like I make sure I talk to my dadi, my mom, nana, nani. So it's important. I think morphology, cockroach, good, good. Do you watch TV? I mean, I watch on YouTube, not really TV. Not like I say, I don't like start a series or I say. I have a sip of filled before. Yes, good, good. I always forget. Your immunity against pathogens might be weak, not against. Hello, Ayushi. It's so nice to hear that you're final MBBS student. Where are you from Mumbai. Guys, you should watch this 36 minutes video. It really helped me. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Physics का कुछ बताओ. Like every time I say, like just do bare minimum properly. Your own LMR, your NCRT, your internals. What time do you sleep? If you're getting up at 4:30, sleep before 9:30. Tens for boards, don't worry, Harshu, doesn't matter. Boards are see, no one will ask you. It doesn't matter. Like even if someone asks you, how does it matter? Like I got 92.5 in 12 boards, 97% overall, but in PCMB. So that doesn't matter. But like which attempt, first attempt, completed 3 chapters of English. That's glad to hear. आपने कब से mock start किए थे? Like we had in coaching, so we had throughout the 2 years we had tests now, but like full portion was after portion was completed. So probably by Feb, I started giving full portion tests. Feb से. ठीक है अच्छा. I have to do short term regulation of BP and extra hepatic biliary apparatus. I don't know if I'll finish both in the morning. I can try extra hepatic how much ever I can, but I have to finish short term BP regulation. We have like a class viva on it. I will start short term BP regulation. So let's put our goal till How much short term is left? I don't think that much is left. I've done thoda yesterday also. So not CVS is such a huge chapter. I've been doing it for so long. It's just not getting over. Look at how many chapters are there in CVS. So okay, let's take. I finished hemodynamics, then long-term blood pressure done, determinants of blood pressure done. I'm currently on short-term blood pressure regulation. But it just does not get over. There is just so many topics in Guyton. It just keeps it just keeps going. How much ever you do it won't stop. But it's fun, it's very enjoyable. Like there's so much such cool things. Is diurnal sleep good for him? Sleeping late is bad only. Like, it's okay if you're doing it now, don't change it drastically, but over time it's bad. Even if you do it regularly, it's still bad. Like body clock is aligned, I guess, to sleeping at night only, like early. Tommy. Okay, I'll just put my targets. Let's all put our targets for the next 1.5 hours, and we'll make sure it happens. So I have one, two, three, four, 5 pages. 5 pages of uh, short-term BP regulation, and we will take 10 minutes per page. So it's to take 1 hour, and then I want to start extrahepatic biliary apparatus, which is a 50 minutes work. Hi, Sarah. 50 minutes work. Actually, I can do it. Like by 8 o'clock, let's go. I can finish extra hepatic also. So let's go. And we just did in class yesterday, so I have to finish it. So today I'll finish extra hepatic biliary apparatus. So it's a very like what do I say? Ambitious target, but I will finish it. Extra hepatic biliary apparatus, as well as uh, short-term medicine in the next chalo, 2 hours. But we will 2 hours ka target, but we'll have a break at 7:30 because it's important to take breaks. We can discuss for a bit, 5 minutes. 7:30 we'll take a break and discuss. Fine. Mm, yeah. So everyone can put their chats also. Can put their targets also. So at least we can get it done. Right. So I have to finish short term and extra hepatic. I'm sure I can finish that. Great, great. Sarah, hope you finish it. Okay. Hmm. Can I start mock mids March? Just start. Even if you've not finished your syllabus, just start. Okay, Chal. We'll meet at 7:30 again. My target is to go to sleep. Yes, yes. Please sleep. But take care. Sleep more than 5 hours, please. Not that's too less. Sleep at least 6.5 hours. Yes, I'm done with my morning targets. Of course, I had to have extra hepatic biliary apparatus level, but that was not the main. That was not one of my main goals for the morning anyway. It was one of our secondary. Of course, I'll start doing it also. Maybe I can finish it before college starts. It's 8:45 तक है तो on the way वगैरह I can do थोड़ा बहुत I think I'll try to finish it, but definitely. Uh, so see, I'll show you how much I did. This is short term. I finished entire short term like this. It's like five, like 7, 8 pages.